I wanted to ask you, you are, pretty open about being Mormon, and you've written books targeted specifically to that audience, like Latter Day Responsibility, Anxiously Engaged. So I'm a Baptist, and I think majority, not everybody, but majority of my subscribers are Baptists as well. And this is a question that I get messaged because I talk about the books often. I do get this message to me. Are there any Mormon doctrines or undertones in these books? I know the answer having read them myself, but could
Sure.
you just touch on that?
Yeah, we get that question, or I get that question, obviously, too. So, the only religious element or aspect of any kind in the whole series or all the content we're putting out now is in the book, The Tuttle Twins Learn About the Law, where it says in there that our rights come from God. And that's because that was our first book. And when Elijah's the illustrator, he's my friend, when we decided, there we go, when we decided to do that book, we didn't know that we would do a series. It was just kind of a fun little side project that we're like, hey, this would be really cool to do. Let's test this out. As I said at the beginning of the video, when I wanted to talk to my kids about this stuff and saw that there was nothing, I reached out to Elijah. I'm like, hey, what if we did this thing? And we didn't know if it would go anywhere. So we said, hey, if there's one book that we want to do, it would be the law, because for both of us, that was an instrumental book in both of our own education. And The Law by Frederick Bastiat. There you go. And so we did that book. And in The Law, Frederick Bastiat says the same thing. We try and pattern our books, closely off of the ideas of the books that we off of. And so at the time, I had no thought of any problems with that. It's what I believe. It's what Bastiat wrote about. And since we published it, obviously there are some secular families and secular homeschoolers who don't like that. For example, we have many charter schools who buy the books, or they'll buy the series of books, but they will make us not deliver to them the law book because it has a religious reference, and their state laws don't allow them to spend the state resources on any religious material. So they say, hey, can you throw in another book, leave out the law, because they can't have any religious reference. So all the other books don't have any religious content. There's no hidden like Mormon agenda or anything like that. It's just that I do believe our rights come from God, but we have a lot of secular families who disagree with that, and that's fine. Like most of them will still get the books, but they'll just tell their kids like, hey, I don't believe this, and I think our rights come from our humanity and so forth. So that there are Easter eggs, as you probably know, in the book, and some fun little hidden drawing things, but they're all fun political and economic things. They're not any hidden Mormon things. So
right. And I would say too, the golden rule, I mean, that's a biblical principle, right?
Yep.
You went to others as you would have. And this is one of my kids' favorite books. As you can see the tape, and it's really, they love this one. And it's the one that the character based off of Ron Paul is in, correct?
Yep.
I can't see how any Christian would be offended with any of these books or this book in particular. So yeah, I just wanted you to answer that. Thank you.
Thanks.